You know it.
Bum, bum, bum.
You know it. So that's the first time they caught Gizzard at that truck stop, but it wouldn't be the last. You know. Oh, we're live. Hey guys. Hey everybody. What's going down? What's up? What's up?
Hey, dear.
I don't know. Hello, interwebs. We are live. Thanks for coming and visiting. I'll get it out right off the bat. I'm actually not feeling so hot. About the last hour and a half here, 2 hours, not been feeling all that hot. I got a really nasty headache and some heartburn and indigestion and acid reflux, and I'm just feeling like crap. So, but we wanted to, we'll go live here. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll start feeling better. I did take some stuff, so hopefully I'll feel a little bit better as we go. But I don't have a whole lot planned for tonight. I did throw a link in the chat over there for a really cool video I watched. And then, hold on. Really interesting video that I watched.
What kind of two-bit shit show is this?
The two-bittiest. This is the mostest two-bittiest video ever. So I threw it out there again. That link is for a Lucky Gunner video. That Calavera says, "I feel the way Snob looks." Yeah, sounds like you need some Pepto. I was drinking Pepto on Friday night. I was feeling, I don't know, something's going on. I think I'm dying. I'm finally dying. No, none of you guys can have any of my guns. No.
Well, you're already dying. It's just that you're dying at a slightly increased rate now.
That's true. That's true. One foot in a grave, 1 foot in a banana peel. So stop eating bananas, would you please? So
no, make me. Make me.
So the video that I threw the link out there for is a video that I watched and I thought was really cool. I thought that was pretty interesting to talk about. And then brought it up pre-chat, and they said, "Oh, hell yeah, that's what we talked about on my show." So Sarge apparently already he quirked the shit out of me.
Like 24 hours in advance.
Glimtech says, shoot him a link. You didn't pop up. Let me see if it pops up here. Shoot, what is your? It's not as Glimtech, isn't it? Damn.
I think it's Glimtech at Gmail, because he sent me one last night.
Was it? Okay.
Or want me to forward it to him?
Yeah, forward it to him if you have it. And then I don't know why it didn't pop up. I went through everybody and it didn't pop up for some reason. I'll have to make sure I add that again. Yeah, send it to him. So it was about it was from Federal. A couple of the guys that do the work with Federal ammunition and the way they look at carry ammo and what's necessary and what's important and what's not. It's pretty cool. So I'll talk about that. Calavera says maybe a stress ulcer. Probably. Who knows? So let's say hi to everybody, and then we'll go give it a couple minutes. We'll go check out there and see who's out there. Ape, what's going on, buddy?
Not a whole lot. Thanks for having me on. I know. Had a large Easter lunch with my family. Then got to go sneak out for a little bit and shoot a brand new Pig 320, Sig 320, Sig 320 X carry with the red dot on it. It was okay. Then
I was looking on Slick Guns or whatever it is. And they had a bunch. Somebody was selling a bunch of 320s, full size 320s that were not refurbished. I forget what the term they used. Certified. They were like certified pre-owns. It's like a Toyota Camry or something. But they're really good price. I mean, it was it's a pretty cool way to get into that pistol if you really want to. I forget what it was, 3 something. They were pretty inexpensive.
Yeah, I had a family member who had Cabela's points burning a hole in his pocket, so he had to spend it because they had it's the Desert Tan 320 X carry with the red dot. I think it was 4 something. I don't know. we looked it up, and it was actually a couple dollars under wholesale. So,
Oh, cool.
and then I got to be the guinea pig while he kind of fiddled with the adjustable gas block on his Grendel pistol that I got him the barrel for last Christmas. So,
That's Grendel 6.5, right? It's 6.5 Grendel.
yeah.
Now what? Well, we can talk about it then. We'll talk about it because I don't really know much about that.
It's supposed to have like 6.5 Creedmoor performance, but in an AR-15 platform. Similar performance.
So you can use that with the same lower, right? Like a traditional AR-15 lower.
With a regular lower, you're just going to need a different magazine with a magazine follower, a different bolt face. You can like a physical bolt itself, not the carrier, because it's the 6.5 Grendel is based off the 7.62x39. So you can use one of those bolts and then a new barrel. And I've heard rumor of a mythical beast that Wolf Ammunition is actually should be producing 6.5 Grendel ammo, and it shouldn't be any much more expensive than what 7.62x39 would be. Should be, but if they were producing it, it'd still be steel case, but it'd be still cheaper than like a box of Hornady SSTs or that.
Now, do they still actively produce both types of steel cases, like the lacquer and the polyformance or whatever, the polymer coated, or is that polymer? Because I know when that polyformance started coming out, and people had issues with it. Like they didn't like the fact that it was they were having trouble with it sticking and stuff because when your chamber gets hot,
Well, with the original lacquer coating, they were having issues with it sticking. But I would think that the people at the Tool Arsenal just made up the polymer to be a product improvement, not just instead of using lacquer we've used since '43, we are going to use new spray polymer because we want to.
Yeah.
No, thank you, Vandalist. No, you cannot kill a 6.5 Grendel with a 50 Beowulf.
And right, Scott, and I did know that. Scott says they don't actually. Wolf doesn't produce anything; they take from different. And that's true.
Yeah,
they'll get stuff from Tula and stuff from wherever, and they repackage it and sell it. Herders is the same way. If you go to Cabela's and buy Herders, it's Tula.
With the exception of their brass stuff, their brass case stuff is actually probably S&B.
Well, I've never shot them. Yeah.
No, I got
I'm talking their steel cases, Tula though.
Yeah, I've got a couple boxes of the Herders 10mm for Christmas this year, and I looked on the box and it said product of the Czech Republic. And actually, for a little extra fun fact, Herders used to be a Minnesota-based company until it was defunct and then sold off.
Yeah, I did know that. I didn't know it was Minnesota. I knew they were their own company for years. It's good stuff. I've never had any issues with the Herders. I've shot the 7.60x39, and I've shot some 38 and some other stuff. It seems like good ammo. It doesn't seem like there's been any issues with it that I've heard of.
No, I wouldn't say it's better than any of the other steel case stuff unless it's www.backoftruck.com surplus non-super corrosive high-tech steel.com. I will say they do offer more variety of bullets or style of bullets than like tool ammo or Wolf. It's all the same.
Yeah. All right. Giz, what's going on, buddy?
Just winding up my week with the best show of the weekend, of course.
How was this morning?
Yeah, where was you this morning, man? I looked for you.
Yeah, we were out. I had the little dude out. We were out there. It was so nice here today. We got up and did some breakfast, and then We're outside. The neighbors had a bunch of kids over, so we're out playing football and kicking a soccer ball around with them, and then busted out some bubbles. Played blowing some bubbles all over the place. So yeah, we were just outside. We were outside a lot, and then went running around a little bit, and driving around. Went to just nothing major, but just getting out of the house kind of stuff.
You didn't drink any of that bubble bath stuff, did you? Because that might have gave you your heartburn.
Definitely would.
Maybe that's why he feels bad now.
Yeah.
That or he went by the gas station, had to try out my sausages, just see what all the excitement was about.
Salswaje. Very cool. Anything interesting on the show this morning? Or just the usual Sunday morning banter?
A little bit of everything, probably. But we had a good discussion. We had several people in talking. We ran for about 3 hours.
Cool.
Then I had to do some stuff with the daughter, so.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a good time. At least I did. Hopefully everybody else did too.
Awesome. Glimtech, what's going on, buddy guy? What's happening?
Oh, not a whole lot, other than the wife made Easter dinner, and now I'm 10 pounds fatter. Other than that, we're
In
doing
a
okay.
ham coma?
Oh yeah, yep.
Awesome.
It's tough marrying an Italian wife, man. I'll tell you.
Just cutting loose in the kitchen, huh?
Oh, bet. Yep, you betcha. Get sick of that rich Pennsylvania food too.
Yeah. Well, where are you at now?
I'm in AZ. I'm in Arizona.
Right. Okay.
But I still have relatives back there yet.
I'm sure food's a lot different out there than it is out here, huh? Than it is back here.
It's actually rather disgusting out here.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, you tell somebody you get a Philadelphia cheesesteak, and it's like, okay, so we use some steakums, and we get some cheese whiz, and I told the one guy, so you put cheese whiz on my sandwich, I'm going to shoot you. That's the end of it.
Some people like that, man. Some people think the cheese whiz. I don't. I'm not a fan of it. I don't. It just doesn't have any it doesn't have any character.
Cheese whiz is disgusting. But yeah, now Mexican, if you're into Mexican food, this is one of the best places to get it, I guess. But I'm not into Mexican food.
Yeah.
Racist.
Oh shit!
Absolutely.
The monkeys are those monkeys over there. Those banana lovers, always bringing race into it.
No. He brought race into it because right when he said that, Mr. Knives popped up into the chat.
Oh, there you go.
Hi, Knives.
Lovers. Going on, Knives. Kingpin, what's going on, buddy?
Not too much, man. Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The poor conservative says, white American or provolone? Yes, both.
Yep.
Provolone does both at the same time. Provolone does with good flavor, and the white American just melts and gets all gooey. A little bit of both. Patriot, what's happening, guy?
I was having a great, wonderful Easter. Did a cookout and did the bubbles and actually got to shoot firearms. Well, squirt guns, bunch of squirt guns, with a bunch of little, ankle biters running around. But it was pretty fun. It was actually a very nice day, and it was beautiful here. So there was no rain in sight. So yeah. And I've been pushing your sticker everywhere, so I've been showing it off, and I've got it in a couple of videos.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, trying to help you out.
Absolutely, well, that's okay. I mean, I only got a couple of them. I actually I sent Sarge a picture of it. I actually took a little bit of the Sticker Mule had another. They do a lot of specials, and some of them are pretty cool. If you're small and you don't need a whole lot of something, so they came up with I got an email from them, and it was another promo for the logo, or for stickers, or not stickers, magnets. So it was like $9 for magnets, like a sample pack or whatever, just like 10 or 12 or whatever it is. So I took some of the money from the stickers, and I got some magnets. And they have I put the name on them too, so you can see, it says Midnight Range TM on them. Just real quick. And they turned out really nice. They're actually pretty cool. They're kind of thin. They're not like super, bulky or whatever, but they'd be great for, when you're safe or something. It's not going to get knocked around. I don't know that I would slam it on an ammo can and try and take it to the range or something. But so if anybody's interested in a magnet, you want to slam a magnet on their safe, let me know. Get in touch with me, and we'll hook you up. But they turned out pretty cool. So yeah, check out Sticker Mule. They, even if you don't order anything from them, check them out every once in a while. They do some really cool promos where it's like, that was $9 for, I think I ended up getting, it was for like 12 magnets and free shipping or something. So what the hell, so there, Pete, what's going on, Pete?
Oh, not much, man. Just got full like a tick all day and enjoying it. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, absolutely. Sarge, what's happening?
Oh, nothing. Just stayed at home, enjoyed a good Easter, and built a rifle.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that little boomstick.
Yeah.
Here, I'm interested to hear about it because, like I said, I'm still under the great AR debate. I can't decide what I want to do, if and when I ever, get a chance to, get some money together and do something. I don't know. I'm a little all over the place.
This is Indecision 2019.
That's for sure. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I'm like that though. I sort of mull things over like crazy. I drive myself nuts. I have a hard time deciding things. Usually I want to make decent decisions, and sometimes I end up driving myself crazy and everybody around me.
So does your wife tell you just buy it?
She gives me the go ahead for the most part. Like, there's very rarely been times where I've wanted to get something and she said, I don't think it's a good idea, because she knows I'm like that. So I'll mull stuff over forever. And then, eventually she's like, well, if that's what you want to do, go ahead. She's like, oh, I trust you. Or, then, there's been times where I haven't bought things and I've come back and be like, yeah, I should have bought that. And she's like, yeah, you probably should have picked that up, or you probably should have done this while you had the chance. So I don't really, we don't really have that, I don't have that, like guys are always talking about best way to sneak a gun into your house after you buy it. I'm not going to buy something just to buy it. Although there are times we've talked about that, there are times where, it's not a bad idea to buy something just because you can, but when I'm on the lookout for something, when I bought my 308 and stuff like that, I did a lot of research and decided what I, thought was a good buy, and, set myself up for, a budget, and, did all that kind of stuff. So,
Well, that's nice. That's a nice thing about ARs, though. You get it, you build it, you shoot it. If you like it, you keep it. If you don't, you sell it. And 9 chances out of 10, you can get what you paid for it, if not a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, it's like if you do get something and you don't necessarily, I mean, that's kind of what's nice about knowing so many people in that are into guns too, is, other than the lower, if you buy a rifle and you don't like the stock, maybe, you sell it to somebody, be like, hey, I got a stock here. You want to buy it for a good price, and just mail it off to them. It's nice to have those kind of contacts. And, you don't have that. I didn't have that years ago. If you're looking for something, say, hey, I need a, does anybody have their grip or a stock or, something like that? They don't want to buy it from them. Lots of people out there that are sitting on stuff that they don't want. So pretty cool. And what the hell, I mean, selling stuff on arms list, it's like, I don't know, it's just not as fruitful. You throw a stock up there or whatever. So What the hell? Somebody across the country isn't going to buy you stock off of Arms List and have you ship it to them. They're not looking in, somebody from PA isn't looking in Oregon to buy a stock, Magpul stock or something. Let's see who's out there. Gizwa, Gizzard, Warsaw, Lead Life, Mad Sexy, Guitar Man, Snob's Wife, Ape, Arctic Fire, Glimtech, Snob, Grim 90, Sam of Anarchy 92, Tim 18 Wheels, Kinky, Lead Life, I think I said that already. Kingpin, I already said that. For Conservative, Bass Boy. Let's see who else is out there. I always like to look down because if you just do the list, a lot of times people are missing. I don't know why that is. Budget's out there. Budget did say he was out there. He couldn't pop in tonight. Budget put out a little live video today, if anybody saw that. Local 223, Squib was out there. Gun-loving Grandpa Stan, how you doing? Calaveras said that. JBP, John Brown. Poor Conservative said that. Misha N, hello. Vandalistica, what's going on, brother? Vandalistica, you still planning to come to Tulsa in November? Blue Steel. Scott's out there. Got a hell of a crew out there today.
Hey, happy birthday to Ghost Tactical, by the way.
It's Ghost's birthday. What the hell? I didn't know that.
Hold on.
Obnoxious.
Can ghosts have birthdays? I mean, when they become a ghost, they're dead. So wouldn't it be like a dead day or death day?
No, you were still, even though you're a ghost, you were still born on a certain day. The Juice is out there causing trouble. I don't know what he's causing trouble for. I mean, that doesn't surprise me, but. So, Ghost, were you born on Easter, or did it just fall on Easter this year? I don't know. My grandfather was born on Mother's Day. He was born May 12th. So he was a holiday kid too. I heard my name, so I'm gonna leave now. That's all I came for. Okay. You could answer. Oh, he says, yeah. I was gonna say you could answer my damn question. Kevin says it's not Ghost Speed Day.
Just fell on it this year.
Yeah. Rob D, New York, what's going on, buddy? How you doing? And Vandalistic says, yes, he's coming to Tulsa. That's awesome. So it's Easter for another 45 minutes.
Maybe where you are.
Budget was born on Mother's Day, too. Very cool. Oh, your birthday's coming up then. Fake ghost news. So it's Easter for another 45 minutes. Happy Easter. And we'll get to the chitter chatter here. One of the things that I wanted to see if anybody else had heard anything about it. I really didn't get a chance to look it up. Was the Sri Lanka thing? Has anybody? Has there been any updates or anybody taking responsibility for any of that stuff? Does anybody know anything about that?
Wasn't me.
Bombings. There was like 4, I think, right?
3 churches, 3 hotels, something like 200 people dead, and it's 99.999% sure it was a Muslim terrorist. So
Yeah.
it is what it is,
Dead Horse is saying, yeah, they know the guy that did it, and they found his manifesto.
Yeah,
It was
looking
called
at it.
the Quran.
Looking at it now, it's saying 290 dead right now.
Wow. Bass Boy said 7 total bombs went off. 3 people in custody so far. Wow. Moo says budget's here for a polar pop and a brat.
There you go. Yeah, 290 dead and 500 injured.
Sorry to Live Moo, we don't have a polar pop, but would you like a nice, cold, refreshing can of Diet Beef Soda Zero? All the beef flavor with none of the fat.
0 calories.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a guess who was responsible. Yeah, I haven't heard much about it. My wife actually sent me a link to a video pretty soon after it happened, I guess. So I hadn't really followed up on it. Hold on a second. See something here. Squid wants a link. There you go. Seven Wonder says, just make bombs illegal. No brainer. Yeah, easy. Easy.
Why didn't I think of that?
Bomb control now.
You'd think so. Yeah, bomb control now. Obnoxious says, you clearing your throat at me? No, because my throat's on fire. Having a hard time.
Ice cream.
So, yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea. Should we go get some ice cream?
Squib just got patrioted.
Oh, did he? Came in and took off? So we were talking about that SIG. You said you shot a SIG that was the flat dark earth. Was it matching, or does the slide and the frame not match on those? I don't think they match, right? One's darker than the other.
On that X carry, it looked like a uniform color of coyote desert tan.
Okay. Because I saw a picture of one the other day. And it was the SIG 320, and it was the frame was a lot lighter. It was like, a lot. I mean, it was still, I guess you'd consider it the same color, but it was definitely lighter. It was more of like a khaki color.
Now, was that the 320 carry or the 320X carry?
320X carry with the SIG's little RMR. Because somebody had mad money burning hole in their pocket that they could only spend in one place.
Yeah, because the X carry was just released at SHOT Show, and even my distributor doesn't have that yet. You lucked out on that one.
I know the frame or the slide said X carry on it, so probably Cabela's ended up getting a deal with them saying, "Hey, we'll take 5,000 or we'll take 10,000 right away, but we get them first."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was that I guess that's a 15 rounder, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know, because the guy who owns it is real particular about only loading 10, so it's a lot easier for him to count his empties when he picks them up.
Gotcha.
They should just load one in there. It's super easy.
Well, where's the fun in that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Nobody needs it. Nobody needs a semi-automatic anyway.
Pod person.
Needs semi-automatic for.
Pod person.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about the X carry is if you put an optic on it, then you lose the rear sight.
I don't know the way
Co-witness, right?
No, the
yeah.
actual plate loses the rear sight.
Yeah, it's kind of like the X7 or the M17. Yeah, even though the I forget what is it Romeo, their little RMR sight?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Romeo one.
Yeah, it's got like a little bit of cleavage on the back that looks like it's could be a rear sight replacement. Yep. Kind of.
I saw a picture today or yesterday of this looked weird, Desert Eagle with the rail in the barrel, and boy, that looked weird. It had a little red dot on it, little reflex sight on it. Not that it's not cool or not that it doesn't work great or anything like that. It's just, it looks so odd, it looks so weird on the front like that with, not on the back like another, like a regular RMR or whatever on the slide, making it towards the front that it just looks a little bit funny.
Well, it should last a lot longer and be more accurate since the barrel and the deagles are fixed. It's not like reciprocating back and forth on the slide itself.
Oh yeah, I never thought of that. Huh. Oh wait, the slide doesn't move on a deagle?
No, the slide moves, but unlike a regular gun where like the whole top part moves, the barrels are fixed. It's just like that rear, like quarter of it that moves backwards. Well, yeah, then there's like a little like extended slides that go underneath under the barrel and kind of inside the frame, because that's where the gas port is.
Obnoxious says, just watching tonight, saving myself for NRAAM and NRAM. You don't want to come on the show and blow all your energy. Talking to just wipe you out.
Hey, now don't challenge Obnoxious to start blowing stuff.
Yeah,
this is somewhat of a family-friendly show sometimes.
Be more truck stoppish.
He'll just start talking about cameras and microphones and a bunch of random stands and adapters and
then about how he had to brush his dead pussy on his microphone and then trim it because it was too long.
Well, that's brutal. So here, this is if you didn't watch Obnoxious's last video, this is a lot how it went. He was trying to show you something, and it was kind of like he did a lot of this, like trying to focus. It'll show you exactly. He had a hard time.
Pure gold.
It is a cinematic masterpiece. Yeah. It's like Schindler's List, but better.
Ron most Howard people use a green screen
with more orange.
Most people use a green screen, but he uses an orange screen.
Yeah. They're asking Budget if he got home without anybody picking a fight with him. Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. That's people are so stupid, man. If you didn't watch Budget's little live stream he did on the way home today, go ahead and watch it. It truly shows you how stupid people are.
Yeah, but it also shows you how well he handled himself in that situation, and that's probably the way that most of us should handle the same situation. Nobody got hurt, nobody got arrested. It probably wasn't even a lot of paperwork for the police, and they shook hands. So, and he even let somebody know, hey, I'm not a threat to you, even though I carry a gun, because you didn't, take it to that level, right? That's. I think he handled it well.
What did I miss?
You gotta watch other people's videos there.
What the hell, man?
Yeah.
Budget out in the chat says I actually stopped back at the Circle K and apologized for being part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think
still want him to review that Polar Pop, though.
That's what I want to know.
Polar Pops.
What is a Polar Pop? Is that like an ice pop or something?
Is it like a knockoff bomb pop or a creamsicle?
It probably melted all the time he was standing outside talking to that dude.
Well, no, he has a holster.
Could you get a refund or
a refrigerated holster? He keeps them in.
So he can get a fresh one at least.
Oh, are these the ones that come in like the plastic tubes that like cut the sides of your lips every time you eat them?
No, I think those are push pops, right?
No, push pops have like the little stick because they actually push them through the cardboard tube.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know. Are they like Freezy Pops or something like that? The ones in the plastic?
Bomb Pops.
I mean, they're good because when they melt, you got the pure sugar water that you can just slurp right down.
Flavor Pops.
They're freeze pops, yeah.
Well,
they're Flavor Pops.
What is it? What are they called again?
Flavor Pops.
No. The one that Budget.
Oh.
Polar Pops.
Polar Pops.
Oh, here he is. All right, explain yourself, sir.
You guys see that?
Oh, a Polar Pop is a drink.
What?
Yes,
it's just
like a Slurpee.
It's a fountain drink.
Oh,
They've got names about Polar Pop.
Listen, why don't you just say?
I feel really let down.
Why don't you just say I got a soda, like a normal?
Because
I'm from Ohio. We say pop.
Well, that's
also,
no excuse.
Yeah, well, you could have just said pop.
At Circle K, is every seventh pop free or not?
I don't know.
Because if it wasn't, you need to go to Speedway instead.
With a mouth like Budget, when he goes to Circle K, he might get popped. You never know.
Yeah, no shit.
So, long story short, Budget was misidentified as a
agitator,
a grumbly jerk, and even though he wasn't, and a dude, probably a scrawny little punk dude, puffed up on him, and then everything worked out okay, but could have been shitty, right?
Yeah, it could have been really shitty. I think the smartest. It may not have been.
like I told somebody else today, I may have been quote unquote morally right to stand up for myself and not take shit from the kid. But the smarter thing to do would have just been to nod my head, say, sorry, dude, or not say anything at all and just let him run his mouth and then go about my day.
Yeah, it's okay. So hindsight's 20/20 though, and it's really tough because even though it happened the way that it did today, you can't help but wonder if this kid learned something from it, and maybe it'll keep him out of trouble in the future.
Hopefully.
You mean think before you assume?
Next time.
Right.
I think in Ohio, when you are carrying a concealed weapon, if you're stopped by an officer, or if you're having an interaction with police of any kind, and they ask for your ID, that triggers your duty to notify law enforcement that you're carrying. So when he asked for our IDs, and I told him, officer, it's my duty to inform you that I have a concealed handgun license and I'm carrying a pistol. It is in my right front pocket. What would you like me to do? To which he responded, just don't reach for it, which was awesome on his part. When I said that, you can see the kid's eyes just get huge because it realized, why I'm telling him he doesn't want to do this shit. And then, when the officer went to run our information, and he looked at me, he's like, if I'd have known you had a gun, I'd have just kept my mouth shut. And it's like, dude, you should always assume somebody has a gun.
Well, I'll tell you what, not only that, or if you've ever watched any kind of fight, any kind of fighting, any kind of mixed martial arts, or even street fights and stuff, and you never know who you're talking to. I mean, there's some badass people walking around in the street that are, 130 pounds soaking wet, that can whip ass. I sure as hell don't. I just don't leave the house thinking like, let's see who I could be tough to today, and get away with it. Like there's people like that. There's people that are, I don't know, they just their whole goal in life is to be a tough guy, I guess. But I don't know, man.
And then he's trying to say it was the girl behind me he was looking at, and then he's trying to tell me that, well, when I turned around and saw you reminded me of my dad, and this, that, and the other. It's like, come on, dude, really?
Jesus.
I mean, I just want my Polar Pop and my frickin' cheddar brat and to go to Walmart. Leave me the hell alone. It's Easter. I don't want to do this shit today.
You reminded me of my dad. That's ridiculous. What would you have, like? What would you say? What's the cop? What are you going to say to the cop? Like, who's guy reminded me of dad? So I punch him in the mouth. The cop's gonna be like, all right, that's get in the back of the car, bro.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing was just stupid. I think, and I think that really comes down to pretty much anything like this. It ends up being just dumb shit that escalates. I'm sure you agree with that, Sarge.
Oh yeah. Most of it doesn't matter. The things that end up being a big problem, ultimately, they don't matter. And
that's why when that I saw he's waiting for me, and I walk out, and it's like I'm just going to try to diffuse this and shake hands with the kid and just get about my day, because it isn't worth it over dumb shit.
No, you're absolutely right.
That's one thing I got to give it out here in Arizona. You have that very, very rarely out here, just because of that fact that 9 times out of 10, the person you're coming in contact with has something packed somewhere.
But well, it's different out in Arizona because it's so goddamn hot. Nobody has any energy out there anyway. They just.
You'd be surprised. Right now, it's like 70 degrees, 80 degrees. It's beautiful out here right now.
Dead Horse said you should have him tell the story for those who didn't watch. You did kind of tell it a little bit. It's not a very long story. If you want to give it a rundown, budget.
Yeah, I'll give it a quick rundown. Then I gotta go.
Okay.
I went to Circle K, to stop and get a Polar Pop and a Cheddar Brat because I have a weakness for roller grilled hot dogs. I think they're great. Anyhow, I went, as I'm in line, there's a kid in front of me in his early 20s. He's stopping to get some beer. And the cashier rings it up wrong, doesn't ring up something that she should have. So she has to back out all this. And the kid's like, hey, at first she's like, just whatever. And he's like, no, I don't want to be dishonest. Go ahead and bring it back up again, which, hey, props to him for that. So as he's doing this, as he's telling her this, I clear my throat because, I had something in my freaking throat. So I clear my throat. He turns around and starts glaring at me. And me being me, I stare right back. I'm not going to shy away from somebody because they're looking at me. I stare down murderers. This kid ain't, you ain't shit to me, dude. Anyhow, he, at that point, he turns around and says to the cashier that, this guy behind me, he can wait or whatever. And I'm like, hey, guy. And that's where I say I should have just kept my mouth shut. But instead, I say, hey, I just happened to clear my throat because I happened to clear my throat. It had nothing to do with you. So he turns around and he just really starts trying to do the mean mug thing. Yeah, Midnight, let's not make that joke. Anyhow, he, you dick. He starts to mean mug me even more, and starts. He said something about I shouldn't be clearing my throat or something. And I said, listen, son, if I had something to say to you, I would say it to you. I just want to buy my Polar Pop and go about my business. Just pay for your stuff, leave, and it's Easter. We don't need to deal with any of this. So he starts to chop back at, talk crap at me. And I'm just like, listen, guy, you're not scaring me. You're never going to scare me. Don't stop trying to intimidate me. Buy your stuff and go. If you take this someplace where you don't want it to go, it's not going to go the way you think it is. And so he walks out. And as he's leaving, he says, well, we'll just see how this goes when you come outside. So he goes, I'm watching him through the window. He goes out, puts his beer in the car, and then stands there waiting for me. So, I just happened to say something like, all right, if that's what you really want, I just kind of say that under my breath as I'm paying for my stuff and walk out. But, it's like, this shit isn't worth it. This is dumb shit. And I'm not going to go to jail over him being an idiot. So he happens to be parked right next to me, so I have to interact with the guy. And I go to my car, and I just like, you know what, I'm going to take the bull by the horns. I said, listen, this is Easter. There's no point in getting in a fight over a stupid misunderstanding. Dude, I'm not scared of you, and we can either shake hands or throw hands, one of the two. I'd rather just go on about my business. And he says something about this. You want to chalk it up as a misunderstanding? And I said, yeah, because, I'm legitimately just cleared my throat at that time. Didn't have nothing to do with you. You're getting mad at me and threatening me and everything. And it's just, this is all over nothing. And that's when he says, well, I was talking to the people behind you. And I'm, well, hey, you were looking at me, but okay, not a problem. It's just a misunderstanding. It's like, yeah, you reminded me of my dad, and I don't like my dad, and this something else.
What the hell? This is ridiculous. It's so stupid, man.
Yeah.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Tell me about it. But at any rate, it's like, come on, it's Easter. Let's go about our business. We shake hands. Meanwhile, as I walked out, the cashier called the police. So our local PD pulled in at that point as we're shaking hands. And, things are resolved, but the officer has to do his due diligence. So he asked for our IDs. That's when I notify him that I'm carrying, like Ohio law requires. The kids said what he said about being, not, if he'd have known, he'd have kept his mouth shut. Officer comes back, hands us our IDs. At this point, the people who were behind me in line come out. This kid starts talking shit to them right in front of the cop. it's like, dude, shut up. As a matter of fact, I look at the guy and I'm like, listen, you can talk yourself into going to jail. I mean, can't talk yourself out of going to jail, but you can talk yourself into going to jail. And that's what you're doing. Shut up. You got a Fifth Amendment right for a reason. The officer looked at him and said, yeah, you're right, because you're about to go to jail. So he shut up. And, the long and the short of it is nobody got hurt, nobody got shot, nobody went to jail. All was well. Hopefully he learned something, and hopefully I learned something. It's like, as I said, I may have been quote unquote morally right to stand up for myself and not let this kid walk all over me, but it wasn't the smartest thing to do. The smartest thing to do would have been just to shut up and let him run his mouth.
Yeah, and that's and I never really was. I'm not a in your face kind of person. Like I'd have been a dude that would have just been like, I don't know, dude, and just walked away or whatever. But I can totally understand how you're kind of wired a little bit differently doing what you do. When you said and you said during the live stream, like you don't have the luxury of not being in the face of people that are like that. You know what I mean? So you definitely have your wiring's a little bit different than mine for sure. But I understand it. I can understand how that's hard to turn on and off, just like a cop or something like that. I'm sure you have to present yourself a certain way on the job, and it's probably hard to turn it off when you're not on the job.
No, Local 223. This was not a black guy.
Rob Dean, New York Outcast.
Anything.
Yeah, Rob.
No, Rob, did you see that? Nah, I saw the video. Budget was slapping him all over the parking lot for calling a Slim Jim a candy bar. It was nuts.
Yeah.
No.
But you probably
hot dog
say something
sandwich.
like doing it,
Hot dog sandwich.
I think the real question is here, Budget. Since you went in and got yourself a high fructose corn syrup carbonated beverage,
diet
carbonated beverage.
And because it's really going to offset the calories from the bratwurst.
Did you have kraut on your bratwurst?
Did I what?
Did you have sauerkraut on your bratwurst?
No, I did not. Just mustard.
You see, that's why the kid's smarted off to you.
That's a lot of disapproval.
Hey, listen. Convenience
I'm
store.
all for the mustard.
Convenience store roller grill bratwurst is one thing. Sauerkraut would be an entirely different story. I don't know that I would trust that.
Well, first of all, it's vinegar and already rotted cabbage. There's no way it can go bad.
Oh no, it's not the sauerkraut itself that would bother me. It's the other people getting into it that would bother me.
Yeah, that was
for Circle K. You'd be surprised what can go bad.
When you said you didn't get kraut, you could tell and this is a funny thing about when you get older and you just your mannerisms and stuff. All the dads on the panel, they didn't say anything, they just went like disapproval.
After I was on my way back from Walmart, I stopped at the Circle K to apologize to the cashier for being part of that scene there. And she's just let her know, hey, there's no hard feelings. You called the police because that's what you should have done. You did the right thing.
Well, it could have been. Yeah, I mean, it could have been. By the time the cops got there, it could have been a mess outside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that probably detoured somebody from getting hurt or killed later.
Sure. Yeah, I think hopefully that's like I said, hopefully in the long run it was a pain in the ass for you. It was a pain in the ass for the cop, and it was probably hurt the hell out of the pride of the kid. Hopefully it did. I mean, if it didn't, then there might be something wrong with him. I know I'd feel like an asshole, but hopefully, in a week or two, when somebody steps on his foot at Walmart or something, he's not going to make such a big deal out of it. Just be like, just let it slide, maybe.
Yeah. Hopefully.
He said, Kingpin said, you remind me of my dad. Can I borrow the car and have $20? That's what you should have done. You should be like, oh, I remind you of your dad. You should have taken like 2 or 3 bites of your brat, given him the rest of it, and walked away. Here you go, buddy. Let him. Here, you want to finish this for me? Go ahead. Conservative says, "Don't let him fool you. He stopped back for another roller dog." going for a
Actually, I
for
did
a
not get
twofer.
another roller dog. I did get another Polar Pop, though.
See, I expected a Polar Pop to be like one of those like the red, white, and blue rocket pops or something like that. And here it's just a damn soda. I was all excited. You said Polar Pop. I'm like, oh, this dude's walking out there with the popsicle and sausages, and he's ready to rock and roll. I was wrong.
Nope, just a cool beverage.
Tasty beverage.
Yes, a tasty, cool beverage.
Could I
It was a
wash
Diet
down this
Dr. Pepper, in
bratwurst
fact.
with some of your tasty beverage?
You'll wash this down with. Sadly, it's only a soda. C4 Defense says that's right.
I got a bit of a serious question for you, Budget. You don't have to answer it if you don't want to, but in that situation, if it escalates, do you fist fight or do you pull the gun? Or do you fist fight and then pull the gun if necessary? Like, what was your thinking there?
My thinking there was to try not to engage in any kind of altercation. You know, obviously, if I have to, I have to, and I'll go wherever I have to go in order to keep breathing. But, you know, and unless he does something that would warrant the use of deadly force, I'm not going to use deadly force.
I think it's tough too. I mean, when Kingpin said that, it's something that runs through your head a little bit. Like, well, what do you do? And this is maybe a good little open discussion. Like, you got to see the firearm as the deterrent, right? Because, I mean, if you don't and you try and go in physical fight with somebody and you don't do well and they feel the gun and they pull it out or something like that, holy shit, you're done, man. Then you got nothing. I mean, I guess try and keep the physical, try not to fight at all. But if it comes down to that, if you think it's going to come down to that, to the point where you're afraid that you're getting in a fight, I think that's, you have to go to the gun, right? You have to at least be ready to pull it and let them know you have.
The scary thing is, there were two of them. I didn't mention that there were two of them, and it could have easily turned into a 2-on-1 situation where I might have had to pull the firearm, and all over some dumb shit. I mean,
all over something you didn't do.
I'm sorry?
Right.
All over something you didn't do.
Yeah.
So that's the worst part.
Exactly. I mean,
he was having his deal, whatever it was. You had something, you cleared your throat, and now this guy is all angry at you for no reason. So that's just, it shows how these things happen sometimes.
I mean, it would have been easy for, while we're shaking hands, for him to swing on me. We start fighting, his buddy jump in. Then what am I left with?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm spending the night in jail,
Why?
trying to freaking sort this out.
Brotless.
Your Polar Pop becomes it's in the evidence locker.
Just
all of a sudden,
on the parking lot.
Freaking Budget thinks it's going to go down. He thinks he's getting a fist fight. All of a sudden, he turns into goddamn Kobayashi. He's dunking that brat in a soda, choking it down real quick to get it.
They got forensics on the mustard, and
No. That pop is not going to make it to the evidence. Cop's going to pick it up and say, "Hey, here's a cold, tasty beverage."
Well, and Sarge asked, why would I go to jail? Well, because, number one, you never know how these things are going to play out, and what the perception of the officer on this coming on the scene is going to be. There's witnesses inside the Circle K that'll say that I was arguing with the kid. So, and then I came out after he said, "Meet me outside," and I walked right up to him. Now, there's no audio recording outside where it shows that I'm trying to de-escalate it. All it shows is, all the recording would show would be me walking up to the kid, us talking, and then we commence the fight. So until all that gets sorted out, what are they going to do? Just say, "Oh, well, shit, go ahead and go home."
Yeah, Budget, you're in Ohio, so, keeping the gun concealed that's pretty SOP. If you were in Florida, you would have just blasted the guy and it would have been fine, but
I'm not. Well, and that should be SOP in Florida. You shouldn't shoot nobody just because you can. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
The thing is, you showed restraint, and that's something that, when we've had these conversations about how do you handle this? How do you handle that? I mean, you stood your ground, not from the whole stand your ground perspective, but you explained your case to the guy. I don't really think that escalated it, but you didn't just go hide in the corner and give him his satisfaction either. I don't think you encroach on his space or threatened him or anything else like that. The fact that he wanted to escalate it, that's fine. But then when you let him know afterward that you had the ability to do a lot more damage than what he thought you could, I'm sure that sobered him up a little bit. And I don't mean from the standpoint of that he was, drinking the beer later, but that, he was probably, now he's got something to think about. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And hopefully he does. Hopefully he does think about it. Hopefully it's a learning moment for him.
Well, I haven't watched the video yet, but do you really think he learned? I'm just listening to how his general behavior was.
Probably not.
You think he went back to his buddies and started bragging about what a...
I'd say he probably immediately got in another altercation, and he probably gets in them everywhere he goes, and he thinks everybody else is the a-hole when it's actually him.
I was going to ask, when you were all done, did you hand him a Budget Guns of Gear review sticker?
I should have. No, dude, I don't carry those around. Although I should carry them around to pass out. Shit, why not?
Here you go. Here you go. Not for you. Here you go. Here you go.
Well, like you said, he started popping off at the other people when they came out with the police there. So he didn't learn anything. He didn't learn anything.
You're probably right.
Yeah, that guy is just a situation waiting to happen. He's just looking for a place to go off, and it may end poorly for him one day.
And what was he doing? He was
when the cop showed up,
just what you need.
When the cop showed up, Budget said, "Can you believe this guy doesn't know who I am?"
I know Edge.
Exactly.
I'd say he probably got drunk and then ended up in some type of altercation with somebody later tonight.
Somebody else that looked like his dad.
This dude pulled a gun on me at the gas station. That's what he was telling people.
Yeah, it's probably it.
Given what I do for a living, most of the local PD does know me. It just happened to be this was one that doesn't. So,
what's funny? You said this was a young guy. Did he look familiar? Was he ever maybe?
No.
Okay.
No, he wasn't anybody with whom I'm familiar. He's never been where I work. Now, you gotta understand, the town where I live is in the middle. It's right where 3 counties meet. So he could have been in one of the counties that they go to a different detention facility when they get arrested, and not the one I work for.
Well, when the cop addressed him, did he say, "Sir, yes, sir"?
No.
Okay.
They you always joke about like guys that are assholes, and you're like, "What's the matter? Did your dad not hug you enough when you were a kid?" Apparently, this guy's dad didn't hug him enough when he was a kid, and he's still pissed off about it.
So, what would have happened if you had offered him a hug instead?
Round chicken, round cow.
I'm going to be waiting for you outside. All right, when you need a hug, I'll be waiting for you. It's like Happy Gilmore. I'll be waiting for you in the parking lot. Like, easy, buddy.
Hashtag hugs for thugs.
Hugs for thugs.
That's exactly what roll call would do. He said he'd give anybody a hug.
Hey, roll call. Hey, buddy, listen. We need you to go down to the county jail and just give everyone a hug, and after that, we'll go for the Fat Guys Challenge to see if you can eat 5 pounds of burger.
Hugs for thugs.
Okay, about the 5 pounds of burger. So I tried the other day to eat 3 pounds of bacon. Wasn't that what you said you had, Sarge? 3 pounds of bacon on a plate?
Ridiculous amount.
Okay, so I made it about 2 pounds in, and I couldn't deal with it anymore. It was just too greasy. So in order to redeem myself tonight during the show, I ate 3.5 pounds of chili cheese fries.
Oh, jeez.
Much better. Well, they're not as greasy.
Your colon will thank you.
Yeah.
I gotta say that I was telling the story this evening. I've never gone anywhere, let alone several people walk out with to-go bacon in a box. Like, you just couldn't finish it.
Well, I thought about what you said.
Bacon.
I thought about what you said, and I said, I can do this, no problem. So I get 3 pounds of thick bacon. You said it was thick. So I got the Oscar Mayer hickory smoked thick bacon, and I cooked it probably twice as long as the directions said, and it still just did not crisp up. But I was kind of concerned it was a little raw, so I just kept putting it back in and putting it back in. Finally go, all right, enough's enough. And I lined the platter with paper towel, and I put it on there and let it cool and the grease soak up, or so I thought. And I'm eating it, I get through the first pound, it's no problem. And I get about halfway through the second pound, I'm going, oh, this ain't so good. And I'm pretty sure I made it to about 2 pounds, and I can't do this anymore.
Well,
I was just like, I tried, but I told you, I said, I could eat that, no problem. So I might try it again. See,
if you
that's crispy bacon.
Yeah, but if you deep fry it, it won't be greasy.
No, it wasn't.
All the grease comes off.
It was still flexible, and there were several pieces that were stuck on top of each other. It was a lot of bacon, and like I said, I've never had to walk out with a to-go box just for the bacon.
I think we all took bacon out, didn't we?
Yeah, that's what I mean. They just, who knows how much there's probably a bacon shortage out there in that area of the country.
They acted like it was common for people to take bacon with them.
Okay, but was the bacon, was it kind of ratty and all fat, or was it?
No, it was high quality.
It was good bacon. Yes.
The Oscar Mayer thick cut that I was like 75-80% fat and 20% meat.
There was a lot of meat.
It was just really salty and
well, if it's the business's trademark of they give you so much baking, you got to take it home in a to-go box, people are going to stop by.
Mm-hmm.
We were playing with with some bacon. We get this bacon in for brunch, and it's shoot, is it a company called Jones? I'm not sure if it's Jones is the manufacturer. I'm blanking out on it now.
Jones
but it's a dry aged cherry wood smoked. Boy, is that shit slamming. And what's so nice about the dry age, most bacon's wet aged. They cure it, or that's cured in see a budget. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, man.
They cure it with a salt solution rather than dry curing it in a salt pack. Salting it and letting it cure. And when you wet cure, it tends to shrink up a lot when you cook it. It purges a lot of that moisture comes out. When you dry cure, like it's used to be years ago, it doesn't do that so much. It holds its moisture, the texture a lot better. So we were doing these thick cut. We're thinking about switching our brunch bacon to this, and maybe even using it on a dish or two. And I just hand cut it, maybe a quarter of an inch, maybe a little bit more than a quarter, probably maybe a third of an inch thick. And yeah, 2 ounce. They were 2 ounce slices. They were 2 ounce slices. I cut them to 2 ounces just so I can portion, so I can get cost in my, keep cost in mind. I know how much it costs. And we slow roasted it like 300 degrees until it, cooked down a little bit, and then held it. And then to order, I took brown sugar with a little Chinese 5 spice and sprinkled it on the top and baked and blasted under the broiler. That shit was serious. That was no joke. That stuff was so good. I have a picture of the dish we did. I did it with a scallop dish. I'll have to throw it up on Instagram after the show or tomorrow morning or something. That stuff was killer. They just did a little brown sugar, a little salt, pepper, with a little sprinkle of Chinese 5 spice, and just a real light dusting of that. And it just got real gooey, and it was so good. That shit was awesome. If you come up next time you come up, if we don't have it, remind me. We'll make you some, Sarge. We'll do you a little sum up to try.
So
but
how often
oh my
when
God,
you're working there in the kitchen, do you guys just cook up stuff for yourself to eat?
Well, I mean, we do. I mean, we're there at weird times. So, like depending on what shift you work, you know what I mean? If you work at like 2:00, usually you come in and, either sometimes eat on the way. I usually make myself a little something there and then get to work. And then later on at night, yeah, you make yourself something. But It depends because, I mean, we do specials every day and I do sushi every day. And then, you know, like right now we're sort of putting the finishing touches on like the newer menu to try some new stuff on the menu. So when I have some time, which isn't a whole lot because we're short staffed, but I'll play with some new stuff for the menu. And that's where, like, when you're working on the menu, like the specials come in because we're looking at changing our scallop dish. So I was playing around with this bacon because, you know, bacon and scallops. So, you know, people like bacon wrapped scallops, but it's kind of old school. So the combination of bacon and the combination of these scallops with this brown sugar 5-spice thick cut bacon was like, it was killer. It was awesome. And then did it over top of you know, risotto, and it was just really simple, but it was so good. So good. And I did it with a mango vinaigrette. So it was really kind of a neat flavor combination. It was scallops, risotto, this brown sugar 5-spice thick cut bacon. We used a little arugula almost to have like a salad with it instead of a regular veg. And then I made a garlic and mango vinaigrette to go around it. And the garlic was really, like raw garlic was really neat because it kind of cut some of that sweetness off of the mango. Did like a sweet and sour vinaigrette. So it was really cool. So it was kind of heavy, but not super heavy. You know, it wasn't real fatty. It was just kind of rich, kind of neat. And then out in the chat a little while ago, Angelina put a question. We're talking about food. Tonight's food debate: does lasagna have ricotta or not? I know they put it in the side chat, and he wanted me to ask it. I say yes on ricotta. I don't know what you guys think. I love it. I think it should have ricotta for sure.
If it's the good ricotta,
Mm-hmm.
which up there where you're at, you probably have good ricotta. Down here,
well, we have a lot of we have a lot of farms. We have a lot of dairy up here. But what do you mean good ricotta versus bad ricotta? What constitutes good versus bad?
Well, I mean, you have there's a higher Italian population up there in that corner of the U.S., so they're going to take a little more pride in their ricotta that they have, or at delis or things like that, wherever you buy it from. Here, you just kind of get some just not so good stuff. It's dry. It's just, if you could find some good stuff, yeah, but it's just not a priority for the stores or whatever.
Bass Boy says bacon wrapped asparagus. Prosciutto wrapped asparagus is slamming too.
Yeah, see, Pennsylvania, you can shoot over to Philly and go down the Italian market and get the good stuff down there.
I got a question about your ricotta. Is that the type that has the moisture on it in the package? Am I thinking of the right stuff? Where it comes in
ricotta is
it's a wet cheese.
Yeah, it's a soft cheese. It's wet. Yeah. Ricotta, the term ricotta actually means recooked. It means recooked. And what happens is when you make fresh mozzarella, you start with the cheese, or start with the cheese. It'll be done. Start with the milk and add rennet, which is an enzyme, and that's what actually coagulates the proteins in the milk. And you're left with curds and the whey. So if you take that whey and you actually cook it, again, you can get those proteins to coagulate a little bit more, and it's a real fine sort of, I don't want to say granular. Saying it's granular sounds bad, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not smooth like a cream cheese, but it's not as chunky as like a like
cottage cheese.
Like cottage cheese, right? Even the ricotta some of it can be pretty big. Usually it's in between. So it's almost kind of granular, but yeah, and then they strain that again, and that's what ricotta is. So it's usually really mild and smooth, but almost granular and dry. There will be some moisture in it. Sometimes it'll separate a little bit, and you could just stir it back together or drain it off. It doesn't really matter,
I was just making sure I had the right stuff.
Yeah. Some ricotta is going to be smoother than others. It just depends, I guess, on probably the quality of the milk and maybe the way that it's agitated when it's cooked. I don't really know. I've tried to make it myself, and you can. I mean, I've done it, but the amount of ricotta that you get out of it's not a whole lot. So it's pretty small batch stuff. If you're just trying to make like a half a cup or something like that, it's you can do that. That's kind of fun. But for me to do it and make a huge amount of it would take a big process. Bass Boy says ham or bacon wrapped around some asparagus is good stuff. Yeah. What's really nice is if you take asparagus and just blanch it just for a second and shock it in ice water, put like 3 of them together, and then wrap a little bit of really super thinly sliced prosciutto around it. And then you can just roast it in the oven for like 2 or 3 minutes and serve it. It's awesome. It's slamming. A little vinaigrette, like a lemon vinaigrette on that. Oh, well, I'll tell you what. That stuff's really good. By the way, who chews up cottage cheese before they package it for sale?
Only for you, Seven. We actually have a guy who follows you around, and every time you get cottage cheese, before you take it out of the bag, he chews it up and puts a little bit back in for you.
Squib's leaving. He says he's got to sleep off those chili cheese fries. See you, Squib. Local 223 says I have a... Yeah. He says 223 says I have a rule: I don't eat anything I can't pronounce. There you go. That's what you're here for. We'll teach you how to pronounce anything.
Which is very surprising since he can't pronounce water without putting an emphasis on the H.
Water? Or
Hoarder?
Hoarder? Where do you get off?
You son of a bitch.
Usually at 32nd Street bus stop, but I don't need to do that.
What weird.
Weird.
It can always be water.
Water, yeah.
What weird wonder is this?
Cottage cheese is one of the worst things ever created. Haterade said. I had never had
flan.
I like cottage cheese.
What the hell are you talking about? You don't like flan?
I've had it once and it tasted like a popsicle stick. Like literally, it tasted like a freaking stick of wood.
Where the hell kind of? It's a custard, man. It's not any different than I mean, it's
maybe you should order the oak flavored.
I didn't. No, it was a stupid school thing where you get in like groups of 3 and you have to make something from a country you pull out of the hat.
So you've established a lifetime's opinion of flan based on something that happened at school in home ec?
5th grade. Yeah. Well, one time when I was 7, I got a
midnight inappropriately touched an orange and obnoxious is what resulted.
We need to go get you some good flan. You'll change your mind.
Yeah, creme caramel, flan, same thing. If you like, do you like creme brulee? Have you ever had creme brulee?
Not actual creme brulee. I've had creme brulee flavored soda.
Oh, what the fuck? Creme brulee flavored soda. Where do you get that?
You find some strange ass shit at the dollar store, all right?
Jesus Christ.
It's like, oh, this is $1. Soda. I think I'll try it.
So you set it on fire for you drink it?
Only if you have the Captain 110.
I don't know if that's is that worse than beef soda? I don't even know anymore. I don't know.
No, for dollar store soda, it was actually nice, sweet with a caramely flavor to it.
Revolver saying, do you eat buttermilk and cornbread? I use buttermilk. That sounds like a loaded question. Do I eat buttermilk and cornbread together? No, I've never heard of that.
That's old timey.
Old timey? I've never heard of that.
They dunk. Yeah. I mean, they literally just stuff the glass of buttermilk full with cornbread and eat it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I know several older relatives.
To hell with
buttermilk.
To hell with texture.
Yeah, that's old school. My grandparents used to do that all the time.
That's steeped in old time tradition.
I'll teach you texture. Take this. Just stuff it in there.
But I will say, cornbread done right is tits.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, cornbread's awesome stuff. Oh yeah.
That's how you get rid of the stale cornbread.
That's how you eat revenge stale bread.
And really, that's probably where it started.
Yeah, it is. It's just like a bread cereal. I mean, a lot of the Depression stuff, when you had just a loaf of bread, they would eat bread with milk, same way. A little sugar on there. Crazy old people.
Well,
crazy old people and your economic non-performance and cheap, thrifty food saving skills.
Well, it's just like throwing. It's like throwing bread in
soup or something.
Soup, like stale bread. Yeah, I forget. There's a term for that. I can't remember what it is.
Speaking of adding breadcrumbs, have you ever done the deviled eggs where they're not really? It's kind of like the mayo sour cream mix with cheese, butter, and breadcrumbs, and then you bake the eggs.
That sounds horrific.
No, but say that again.
It's where you
I'll say it again.
Yeah. You
say it again.
You cream the eggs with mayo and sour cream, right?
Okay.
And then in a pan you use butter, the cheese, a splash of lemon juice so it doesn't turn brown or something. And then some people add like diced pickles or something for texture or some kind of nonsense. But anyways, instead of having just like the regular deviled eggs that's just really dry, then you pack the halves of eggs and then you put it in the oven just to warm it, kind of like a toasted.
Sounds like some screwed up version of Clam's Casino or something. Like
now are they regular pickle slices or are they like the atomic super hot pickles?
That's what you're having trouble with, the flavor of the pickles.
Yeah.
That's what's making you wonder what's going on.
Hold on. I mean, you get something spicy enough, it doesn't matter what it really tastes like.
That's true. Okay.
Plus, spicy pickles taste good.
Is that a soda too?
A spicy pickle soda. Yeah.
We're actually in it's a little too early to say, but we are in discussions with the National Pickle Growers Alliance about approving and certifying our soda organic.
You can grow pickles? What kind of wizard are you?
That's quite the trick.
That is.
Do you really want me to answer that
Water
question?
and the vinegar or what?
Did you? Here's a funny pickle. Here's a funny pickle reference.
Pickle Rick.
Okay, if you guys ever watch Family Guy, there was a point where who was it? It was somebody had an imaginary girlfriend. They thought she was an imaginary girlfriend. Was it Brian?
No,
Do you remember this one?
It was Lois's crazy brother.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Was that the Fat Guy Strangler one?
Yep.
Or no?
Yep.
Right, so,
yeah,
her brother had this imaginary girlfriend or whatever, and Brian and Stewie were making fun of her, and
sorry about that.
And they're like,
muted.
No, that's okay. And they're like, "Oh, she's not real. She's not real." And he's saying, "She is real. She is real." And they're laughing. They're like hysterically laughing. They're like, "Okay, well, we're gonna put this cucumber on the couch, and if we come back and it's a pickle, we'll know she's real." And the scene cut, and then from outside the room, you hear Lois go, "Hey, who put this pickle on the couch?"
I remember that one.
Yeah, I think that was the Fat Guy Strangler one. That was pretty funny. That was a funny scene too when they were at the meeting, the support group. They're all out there wheezing and eating sandwiches and shit. That was a good one. That was that. That actually, you know what's funny? That kind of ties in with Budget Guns and Gear's story because the Fat Guy Strangler was mad because, well, he wasn't mad at his dad. He was mad at his mom, I guess. But he was mad at Jack because Jackie Gleason was sleeping with his mom and he walked in on him. And then he got traumatized. Yeah, he got traumatized and now he became a serial killer, but only killed fat guys. Good episode. Oh, man. Rupan's out there. What's going on, Rupan? Ghost came in a while ago. We didn't say hi. What's going on, Ghost? Happy birthday.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
He came on here to get birthday presents, and I bet you nobody even got him any.
Happy birthday to
Please
you.
don't.
Well, there you go.
25 years old.
25
This
years
is-
old for the
This
50th
is
time.
my 20th anniversary, my 24th birthday.
Oh shit. Well, Robbie the Robot, sing him happy anniversary song or something.
Happy anniversary day. Congratulations on another year of not quite dying. Yay.
Wow. See, that's the kind of
That'll cheer you up.
yeah, boy, if that doesn't get you going, nothing will. Thanks, Robbie.
I'll tell you, I've been
Well,
really,
he said,
you
said Robbie to sing,
this
he didn't
is-
say me.
That's right. That's right. I've been working really hard lately on the NFL drafts coming up, and this will be the 24th year that I'm eligible for the draft, and I'm just really hoping I get drafted this year.
Nice.
I spent a bunch of money on Ghost Tactical jerseys, so you got to make the team this year.
My agent says that it's going to be really difficult, being a 44-year-old, out there playing. But I still feel
I think the Lions will take
bring
it.
something. I can bring something to the team. I can bring a little bit of experience maybe. So I'm really hoping to get drafted this year. I'll be the oldest rookie ever.
Just tell the
there
head
you go.
coach that you identify as the starting quarterback and you expect a check.
I'm really questioning. I'm really questioning the hard work of my agent because for 24 years, you'd think I'd go after a different agent, but he swears
Yeah.
he's working hard.
And Jerry Maguire's not really doing it for you, huh?
Well, I said show me the money, it just didn't work.
He did show me the money.
He
He showed me the money, he put it in an envelope and mailed it away.
Yeah.
Sure as heck can't bring it to the team.
Is it sad that my daughter's the same age of half the guys who are going to be drafted this year? That's really fun to think about.
Oh, is she? Yeah. Oh, that's right. She is in college, isn't she? Yeah.
Yeah, she'll be 22 next month, so it's like Jesus,
Well, I know, and that's what you think about. Think about when you were in high school, and you were, junior high school.
No. I can't. I have a kid now. I can't.
It's too many crayons and too many years.
Yeah, my lawyer tells me not to think of those days.
Yeah.
Lawyer.
You think about some of the
therapist.
Some of the pro sports teams that have drafted kids while they were in high school or, straight out of high school and stuff. 18-year-old kids playing pro ball, it's crazy. It's nuts.
Yeah, 18 years old, I was at Camp Pendleton, so, it's a little different lifestyle.
Yeah. You get the same kind of groupies, though.
Well, you can, yeah.
So, Sarge, let's see that boomstick you got there. Let's talk about that. Let's see what's going on.
I finally put it together today. Of course.
Yeah, it pulls the handle back and it instantly breaks. Just blows into a million pieces.
No ammo in the room, but that's it.
Ooh,
This is
fancy
the
pants.
1.7.
What do you have? Okay, so what's up with that mount for your scope?
The cantilever?
Yeah. Is it just the cantilever? Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard with the way it was. Okay, it was your C4 defense thing in the background was making it look weird.
Sorry.
What optic did you put on it?
That's my 1-6 Strike Eagle.
Oh,
I moved it from
fancy
one gun
pants.
to the other. I'm going to replace it on the other gun with a 1-8. So on the line.
It almost looks like mine, with the exception of mine has a red dot on it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've got some with. This is the only one I have with a variable power optic, so I thought I would try it out. It's 1-6. It's got the switch lever on it, so you can switch it up to 6 real quick. Back down to 1.
The throw lever. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's illuminated, so yeah.
Yeah,
Try it out tomorrow.
That's cool. I think I think for an AR or something, it's nice to have those throw levers on them because those optics can be pretty tight when you go from when you change magnifications, they can be pretty snug.
And there's the no step.
Oh, that's right. That's your snack lower, isn't it?
Yep.
Ah.
Heck.
Yeah, I got a snack lower too. That a PSA upper too.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
You
That's
gonna-
why it looks familiar.
with the
That's
FN
the same upper that I have.
with the FN barrel.
Yep.
Are you happy with it?
I am very happy with it.
Well, good. I hope I'm going to be happy with mine tomorrow.
So what is the throw lever?
You're running the 1-7, right?
I'm sorry.
The 1-7 twist on that, or is it the one?
Yes.
Yeah, 1-7. Yeah, that's what I had. Exactly the same barrel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. And it had excellent reviews. There was another one that they put together that had a different handguard, and people kept complaining about the handguard that it wasn't staying on the barrel nut. It was moving. This one got good reviews, and it seemed solid.
Well, mine when I got mine. If you haven't shot that yet, take your if you have an inch pound wrench or an inch pound torque wrench for us, just go over those screws on your handguard, because mine seemed like it was tight too. I got off about 8-9 rounds, and next thing you know, my handguard was sliding.
See, what's the other handguard? That was the same thing everybody said on this other one. They didn't say it on this one. But I just told right here.
Just as a standard rule of thumb, I always take mine when I get anything for PSA. I pull them out, blue Loctite them, put them back on, and inch pound them down.
I put a piece of rail right here on the bottom of it, so I ordered a quick release bipod for dialing it in and everything. I just throw it on there, then take it back off, because I don't want to mount one on this one. I want to keep it nice and light. I put all my
you probably shouldn't risk it with that handguard. You should probably just sell it to me. I'll give you like $300 for it.
305.
$300 for the handguard? Ooh,
Yeah.
You're feeling generous tonight.
I just say I'll take mine off and send it to you in the mail for $300.
And here's my one thing I got from Wanamaker. I bought that.
And a Batwing charging handle.
Yeah, charging handle. That's like one of the only accessories I bought.
What brand is it?
Yeah.
Oh, knockoff. Yeah, okay, that's cool.
I don't know. I bought 3 of them at different places, and they all look alike.
It's a Charge Co. Industrial Incorporated charging handle.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'll scratch my name in it. BC4 Defense.
There you go.
What does that throw lever do when the scope you got? What is that you're talking like? What is that all about?
It gives you more leverage when you're going to spin the optic to change the magnifications. If you have a like my optic on my 308's pretty snug, but it's on a 308, so I mean I'm not going to be looking to change it real quick. But if it was that snug and you were wanting to change it from 1 to 6 or whatever really pretty quickly, then a throw lever or whatever, it makes it a lot easier. It just gives you a lot more torque. It sticks out they're usually about an inch.
You don't have to grab it, because you'd probably have to turn your wrist probably twice.
Yeah.
To get it from 1 to 6, and that you just grab it and just bring it over. What it's designed for is this optic. It's a true 1 power, and it's illuminated, so you could use it up close, close quarters, just like a red dot. Well, or very, very similar to just a red dot. And then if you had to make a longer shot, you can flip up the magnification and make a pretty accurate longer shot instead of probably bringing
for
in,
sure.
A reasonable group, because you're just using the dot or iron sights or whatever. You could tighten it up, and I mean you could make a sniper shot with it at all, but you can make a pretty accurate shot.
Yeah, the main reason for the lever itself is that you can stay engaged on the reticle and not have to leave your eye from the reticle. You just reach up with your hand,
there you go.
Pull it around, and you never have to take your eye off the reticle itself.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Okay.
So,
now, I will say this: the scope that I had on my 8mm was a 2 to 7 power scout mount scope, and I used to shoot 50, 75 yards with that really, really accurately. I mean, a 6 power scope will do damn near anything you need. It will do anything you need it to, even if you were hunting. I mean, hell, 6 power is fine, even if you would take that out for, not that you're going to take that to hunt, but nothing wrong with that.
So with that setting at 1 power, since you said it's a true 1 times magnification, do you have a very generous eye box for it with that? Or for those out in the chat, an eye box is basically where you can put your eyeball in relation to the
it's
the
fairly
end of the
generous.
scope.
It's
Okay.
not as generous as just a true red dot.
Okay.
Yeah,
The length of the scope. Yeah. I mean, a nice short red dot, you can move around and get back from it. That one being so long, you kind of gotta. It's not quite as.
Yeah, I kind of look through the straw.
Yeah.
I will say in regard to those lightweight handguards from PSA, I've gotten 2 of them, or 2 different uppers. And if you take your set screws or your clamp screws out, there should be like a little, piece of not really like sheet metal, but like thin, maybe 1/8 inch thick piece of steel that's kind of like an L with a rounded edge on the bottom that's supposed to keep the handguard from sliding forward.
Mm-hmm.
There was one on my blackout pistol, but then when I took the handguard off my 7-inch 5.56, it didn't have one on there, but the barrel nut was still cut for that, or had a groove cut in it for that retainer. So it's something to think. Or no, if you don't have it, give PSA a call and say, "Hey, I need this little handguard widget."
Widgets and wombles. And you're 5.56, and that's 14.7 with the pinned brake, pinned and welded brake or end or whatever, flash hider. Yeah. Is that just a regular birdcage flash hider, or did you put something aftermarket
standard
on there?
No, it's standard.
Just a bird cage.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna get a dowel tomorrow and measure and make sure it's 16 inches. If it's not, I'm gonna break the dowel and throw it away. Pretend it never happened.
So when you so how is that? That's one thing I don't really know. I know it's supposed to be 16.5 inches or whatever.
16.
But how is that measured?
It's you drop how fine it can tell me for sure.
Yeah.
You would close the bolt.
Close the action.
Right.
Drop the dowel down the barrel till it touches the bolt face, and then measure to the end.
So it actually goes from the face of the bolt to the end of the brake or whatever. It's not
to the end of whatever is
right.
To whatever.
Well, I know, and that's how. I'm familiar with the pinned and welded thing because that's how my AK.
That's why it's welded, because it has to be one piece.
Yeah, my AK is like that. My AK muzzle brake is pinned and welded because
that's one of the reasons why I bought one that was already assembled. So, I mean, you can assume it's correct, and B, you've got a little bit of liability protection there. It's like, hey, I bought it. It's supposed to. This is what it's supposed to be. It looked correct to me.
And I would assume that if someone ever does come and actually measure it and it's not right, then you could probably, there'd be a way to send it, get a hold of PSA, and they'd probably take care of that.
This is advertised and looks to be correct, and this is what it's sold for this purpose, and I thought it was.
Yeah,
mine measures out to be 16.25.
Okay.
Yeah, they're gonna err on the side of caution. Like all the fancy home defense shotguns are 18.5 inches. They're not 18 inches.
Right.
Just as kind of a little way of, kind of asshole protection of, if the ATF wants to get up in, say, Mossberg's business and say, well, this isn't quite 18 inches. This is 17 inches and 990 thousandths.
I'd be willing to bet that breaks about 1.5 inches. So when it comes out, it'll be about 6.
Well, and this is probably why they're building 14.7 inch guns instead of 14.5.
Right. Yeah.
Just to give you that little extra.
To give you that 200 thousandths.
Yeah, because that is a weird, like, this is 14.7 inches. Like, what? 14.7? It's
an inch and a half, and it's 16.2 at that point. You're
and you'll see a lot of 14.5 inch guns when they put the brake, and they probably come, right at 16 inches.
Yeah.
So that's
right there.
So did that came pinned and welded, or you had somebody do it for you?
No. I ordered it just like it is, already assembled, so it would be pinned and welded. And so, because if not, I've got to pay somebody to do it.
Right.
And if they do it, This is what they do all day long. This should be correct. This should be the correct process for pinning and welding, or at least an ATF approved process. Because we had discussions. I know Fine Ape. We were on here one night talking about it because I mean, this is a new thing to me. This is the first one I've ever had this short. So I'm like, why not just buy one already assembled instead of having to pay somebody to do it this first time? Let's just try
it's less futzing around with having to have, because I'm trying to remember whether it was like Brandon from Arizona, who doesn't come on chats anymore, or someone else was trying to go through the process in their head of, well, I got this, and reading up on it that, well, in order to be correct for the ATF, you have to use a certain hardness or a certain diameter and a certain hardness of pin, and the ATF's test for it is that pin, or you should be able to put the biggest breaker bar and the fattest guy you have on it, and that pin should not break. That's their thing. You should be able to spin that pin, or if that brake moves, it's going to be gouging out metal in a ring. Or it's just going to break off. But that's the ATF, and ATF does what ATF does.
I've heard stories of dudes getting their rifles checked, and they'll take the rifle and they'll try to spin that off. And there was a couple dudes that the ATF took their rifles, twisted the barrel, trying to get this thing off, not realizing that it really was pinned and welded because they did such a good job when they welded it, and then they repainted it. So they twisted the barrel before they gave it back to them.
Jack their gun up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Destroyed it.
Yeah, I read one of the things people were complaining about, because it does have a kind of a gnarly weld, and some people, that was a deal breaker for them when I was reading some of the reviews, but I don't care. I'm going to put a little bit of black paint on it and not worry about it. See if you can see it. I mean, you can clearly tell that's pinned and welded.
Oh yeah, it's all boogered up.
Yeah, it's got it.
Yeah. I don't care.
Well, no, it just looks like
black paint on it, not worry about it.
Yeah, it just looks like a nail head.
If you get that close to the scary end,
that's why they make Sharpies.
Well, if somebody gets that close to the scary end, they got troubles.
Yeah. Sarge, is that a mid-length or a carbine length?
Oh my gosh.
Hold it up real quick. I'll tell you.
Yeah, you can tell by the handguard.
It's mid-length.
Mid-length. Yeah. That's okay. Yep. As I said, that's exactly the same upper I have.
You put me on the spot. I was like, man, I've looked at so many of them. What did I actually order? But I ordered the mid-length on purpose, so it would be a little smoother.
Yeah, see, I love a carbine length.
See, my pistol carbine length.
I have another one that has a carbine length, and that one has a little bit more punch to it than the mid-length one does.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to be crazy anyway, but it will, like you said, I'll have a little more pop to it.
But yeah, you can actually tell the difference when you flip back and forth between the carbine and the mid-length.
I've got a little toy. It's supposed to have been here last week and never showed up. So I'm hoping it'll be here in the next couple of days. It's a 7.5-inch pistol. It's chambered in 7.62 by 39. I can't wait to have fun with that bad boy.
Ooh.
That's going to be quite the little flamethrower.
Yes, it will. It will have fireballs galore.
Yeah, that should be awesome. And this, I went ahead with the Midnight Range approved EPT trigger from Palmetto.
Yeah, I like mine.
Yeah, those are nice.
It's a nice trigger. Yeah.
For the money?
Yeah, for like another $20.
Well, I waited because when I ordered the upper, I was going to order the lower parts kit, or the whole lower build kit, and a bolt carrier and charging handle, and so I would have everything. Well, they didn't have the Magpul with the EPT trigger in any fashion that I wanted. You could possibly buy one already built, but it was like $159 or $179. But I'm like, I bought one a while ago when it was like $100 on sale, and went out to Tulsa and came back, and after I got back, it was on sale again. So I went ahead and snatched it up for $99.
Which BCG did you get? Did you get a PSA one, or?
Yeah, I got the premium. It was like, I didn't get the cheapie. It was like $69. It was on sale.
So does that have your handguard, your grip? Is that just the regular MOE Magpul one, or is that the rubberized? No, your grip.
Oh yes, that's the grip. It's just MOE.
Yeah, the hard
Magpul.
plastic one. Yeah,
well, that stuff works. I don't get anything crazy. It works and it's cheap and it looks good, it functions. But I mean, to get the stock, the grip, and then the polished mil spec trigger and your buffer tube and everything for $99, free shipping.
Yeah.
That's why I was thinking about getting the cheaper bolt carrier, but the cheaper one you had to pay shipping. So I got the better one and it was free shipping. So it only cost a couple bucks more. Which
I tell you what you could do, and it's kind of rednecky, but I've done it on a couple of my ARs and pistols that are really good. But go to Walmart and get like a bicycle tire tube, cut it the length of the pistol of the grip. I mean, of the rifle grip. Cut it to that, and then flip it inside out and slide it on, and it gives it a little rubbery. But I'm saying it's rednecky, but dude, it feels really good. It gives really good grip texture to it.
That's what I did with my Shockwave.
Yeah, bicycle tire tubes, man, they work.
I did that to my Shockwave, but I kept having issues with it sliding under recoil.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did it to my Mossberg Shockwave, and it after 5 shots, it was like it slid up and was bunched up behind the safety.
Might need to go with like a smaller inner tube, because I just bought like the cheapest ones for another project of trying to get my water pump out of my truck. Long story, but no, I've put it on there, and the only time it's moved is when I've just folded it back a bit to get the fire control group out.
I put my Shockwave back together tonight. I tore my Shockwave up before we went to Tulsa.
What'd you do?
Yeah, I ended up Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry.
I ended up taking my Shockwave, taking it off my Shockwave because I redid the. I put wood furniture on it and stained it real nice.
Well, I wanted to upgrade the safety to one that's ramped up to where you can really feel it and know when you've got a hold of it. Well, I managed to install it incorrectly, and I'll tell you really easy. There's a little shim under the factory safety that you have to take off and put with your new safety when you put it on it, or you're going to bend the spring that comes up, because the detent for those is a little BB in a spring. So it's really easy to drop the BB, one. And if you don't use that little shim, it gets hung up in the safety. And when you push it forward, it bends over the spring. So this is what I did. I messed it up. But when I'm trying to take it apart and figure out what I did, I managed to close the action. And if you take this safety button, lever, whatever you want to call it, off of a Mossberg with the action closed, the bottom part of the safety inside the action or inside the gun just falls down into it. Yeah, it just falls down in there. So now I have to disassemble the thing. I'm not familiar. I had this thing completely apart. I mean, every single thing was apart. And I'm just like, well, this just got real. Now I got to figure out how to put this thing back together.
Yeah, I didn't mess with my safety.
Well, thank goodness for YouTube. After about 16 videos, finding one that actually showed you instead of just, oh yeah, this is what you should be doing. No, I finally figured it out and got it back together. It worked good. So
yeah,
that looks wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
If you were really good, you would have done it blindfolded. Just saying.
Yeah,
I put
blindfolded and recorded
mine out.
Put a polished bolt and lifter in there out of a different Mossberg that came with a polished bolt and lifter and the gold trigger. And then I bought unfinished furniture and stained it and finished it myself.
I've actually still got mine out.
That the wood from the guy in Thailand?
Yep.
Very cool.
Can you see the safety?
Nice.
I don't know if you can see it. Right there.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, he's got a little. It's happy to see it's got a little erection.
A little nubbin.
Yeah, but you can
I'm
reach
so
up
little
used
and
nubbin
to
lubbin.
really know
I'm
when you
so
got
used
it.
to shotguns with crossbolt safeties. The tang safety on shotguns is weird to me
And I put a Strike Fire 2 on it the other day just for the heck of it.
because you couldn't find anything bigger.
I don't
Well,
use the safety.
I-
on
No,
mine.
because EOTech sucks and we hate you.
I already owned it. So
I don't use the safety on mine. I just don't put anything in the chamber if I don't intend to shoot it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good thing to have, though.
I hit up a TSA last week and got that lower and the M&P Shield 9mm.
I saw that for like $349 or something, right?
Yeah, $379 for both.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet deal. And this is going to be a 450 Bushmaster that's going on.
This
Nice.
guy's all fancy.
Oh yeah.
This guy's not overcompensating for something.
No, that could be a nice hog gun, and we've got plenty of hogs around here. So, yeah, that's what this is for.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so question. Why go 450 Bushmaster over, say, 45 or 458 SOCOM?
Because I have a buddy with a deal.
Okay.
I have a friend who is friends with a guy that owns a company called Accurate AR, located here in Texas, and I don't quite get his discount, but like he's got so many builds now, so I kind of get a hookup from him, so I get a pretty good price.
I don't know about there, but here there's like we can't use rifle for deer hunting in my area.
Is it just straight wall only or shotgun
we can
or
use
what?
straight wall cartridges, and the 450 Bushmaster was literally designed to be like the best possible round to fit the laws that we have for hunting here.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the reason I would get a 450 Bushmaster if I was going to get one.
Yeah,
what
we
are the
can't
prices
use
these days for the 450 Bushmaster in comparison to the SOCOM?
for
Like, about
ammo.
the same price? Yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
Actually, my dad and I were kind of going over this actually when we were down in Wanamaker, and I think the SOCOM is usually like $4 or $5 a box more, usually. But then you can sometimes find just like cheaper SOCOM than you can Bushmaster. It all depends on who's making it.
I get you.
For that one, I'm going to be reloading everything, so I should
waiting
be
on
able
a
to keep
Hodge
my
defense
ammo cost down.
Haterade out in the
They're
chat.
asking-
No,
It's
SOCOM.
not, right?
SOCOM
It's
is a
not
bottleneck
straight.
cartridge. Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's like a slight bottleneck. I think isn't it like a Beowulf or a 50 Beowulf neck down to
No,
458?
it's a 50 AE
Yeah.
neck down.
Okay.
Parent cartridge is 50 AE.
Yeah. And here we can't use, or for deer hunting, we can't use rifles, period. But we can use pistols chambered in whatever we want. So yeah, I can't use a 30-06 rifle, but I can use a 30-06 contender.
Yeah.
You can't use a rifle at all.
That's how it was for here.
Not
about
for
4 or
where I
5 years
am. I
ago.
have to get north of the interstate, and that's like a 4-hour drive for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to go north of
Because-
Saginaw here in Michigan.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's a population density thing where, despite the fact that I have this wonderful 20 gauge copper slug that will go 300 yards accurately, I can't use a 308.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had heard something about Michigan's like split in half or something like that. Like the southern part, you can't use different
Yeah.
things you can up north. Is that right?
Yep, exactly. North of Saginaw, you can use literally whatever you want.
Okay, so that's why most of my people that I know up in Michigan say they're going north to hunt. I guess that's why. Huh?
Yep.
Mhm.
It's too far for me. I'm in the Detroit area. I ain't driving that far to go hunting.
Obnoxious, you talking to me or Taters? He's asking, can you use lever 44 or 357 for hunting?
Yes,
If
we
I
can
went
here.
Yeah. Which is actually Well, that whole rifle, and then pistol chambered in rifle calibers is kind of like why the AR pistols have really exploded in popularity here, because they are pistols. Daters.
They are considered pistols. Yes, they are.
Mm-hmm.
Which is wonderful for transport as well across state lines. That helps a lot too.
Yep. And actually, my dad's kind of stoked about about that Grendel he put together because he knocked the still rifle. He was doing some math. Even out of that 12-inch barrel, it was still doing, or still had more energy than the 300 Blackout in a similar length barrel.
I'm getting ready to build a 300 Black pistol. I can't wait.
They're fun.
I think that might be my next one is a 300 Black. I love that.
I just got a 30 cal silencer, so that's a must. I already got some of the parts. I already got the barrel, and I've got upper and lower receiver set are paid for, but I'm waiting for them to come in. I bought a company made a run of receivers that say Umbrella Corporation on the side, and they got the logo, and they say it on the top, right where the charging handle goes into. It has the Umbrella Corporation symbol and some other stuff. So I'm waiting for that to come in, and then it'll be a while before I get it together. But I'm gonna get a Sons of Liberty Gunworks 8-inch rail for it, the 8-inch wedge lock rail.
Tell you what, you go subsonic 300 Black suppressed, it's as close as you're going to get to Hollywood silent as you're going to find.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got a Dead Air Sandman S silencer. And then I got an Octane 45K I run on my MP5.
What kind of MP5 do you have? That's one of my favorite guns of all time.
I got the PTR 9 CT.
Oh, nice.
I was gonna
charge you more money for that magazine.
I was gonna tax stamp it last week, and then my car started having trouble, so that's gonna cost me some money. So that's putting everything on hold for a while. But the ATF, the e-file Form 4s or Form 1s, they're taking Flippy just got one back in 2.5 weeks for e-file. Yep.
Are you sure it wasn't because with H&K he just kept calling up every 5 hours? Hey, yo, I'm Flippy. Where's my suppressor, dude?
Yeah, I was gonna say, wow.
Well, no, it's Form 1, only Form 1. So only making an SBR. Form 4s you still can't e-file.
Okay, so here's another topic of discussion for the panel. Why SBR something when you can put a brace on it?
For the MP5, literally just because I want that collapsible stock. I want the MP5 in its intended.
You want Die Hard?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay. Yes, being John McClane or Hans Gruber is a valid
another
point.
reason for an AR pistol in my state, because of the way the law is worded on what is a pistol versus what is a rifle. You can buy a 16-inch barreled AK with a folding stock, like them triangle side folders, and if it doesn't have a pin and welded muzzle device, it's considered a pistol in Michigan because it's under 26 inches. Anything over 26 inches from the end of the buffer tube to the end of the barrel or handguard, whichever sticks out further. If that's over 26 inches, in Michigan, that's considered an SBR. So I want to build a 12.5-inch barrel. I got a Hodge Defense upper and lower receiver set and a 12.5-inch Hodge barrel. In order to build that into a rifle, it has to be an SBR because 12.5, no matter what, puts it over 26 inches. So it is what it is. I'm going to have to tax stamp that, which is cool. I mean, those are pretty nice.
Well,
pretty nice guns.
A lot of people like going the SBR route. I like going the pistol route. But the SBR route is because if the ATF does change their mind in interpretation of what is a brace and it can be shouldered or it can't be shouldered or whatever, SBR, you're good to go. But I like a pistol brace, and they're good. But even if they do change it, people don't realize that even if they do change the interpretation of shouldering a brace, you can take that brace off, and if it's just a buffer tube, you can always, no matter what the interpretation is, you can always shoulder a buffer tube. So I like a pistol.
I have a pistol too. I have a 7.5-inch 5.56 pistol. It barks real loud.
Obnoxiously loud.
It's
Very loud.
a repeatable firecracker. M80s, 30 on tap.
The SBR, what's a deal breaker for me? Like I said, it all depends on your state's regulations, like what you're dealing with. But like Ghost said, I mean, they're cheaper. There's less regulations. You can sell them if you want to. With the SBR, you have a difficult time selling it. You have the whole transporting over state lines, going different places. I think it would be more trouble than it's worth for me personally to do an SBR.
Especially with the like the SBA 3 braces and stuff, and they're coming out with an SBA 4 brace. That's basically
have you seen it yet?
Yeah, it's basically an SBM4 except adjustable.
It's gonna be awesome.
In a lot of cases, it's not worth building an SBR, but in certain cases,
Mm-hmm.
Like for those 2 SBRs I want to build.
I would like to think, I may give them a lot too much credit than needed, but I would like to think that even the ATF knows that some of the stuff is absurd they're being charged with. So it's like, okay, we're going to make a $200 tax step for an SPR, but we're going to leave you a large loophole here, So just please don't ever attach a vertical grip to a pistol, because you're a felon at that point. Please do not attach a vertical grip.
I don't care.
Oh, we don't want to do that. No, you don't want to do that.
I see people that I mean, there's like in very specific instances where it's technically makes it a firearm because it's over a certain length. So like I've seen ATF opinion letters that basically say, no, that's a firearm at that point, not a pistol or not, whatever. But I wouldn't trust that, dude. That's up to the judge. That's up to this person, that person. It's too vague. Like when people put a vertical grip on their shockwave, I just wouldn't.
Yeah,
I wouldn't think that would be a good idea.
Sarge has a hand stop on that one he just with the 14.7. That's a nice little hand stop on it. That's what you should use on a pistol every time if you're looking for anything.
Sarge, why did you end up doing the setup you did versus a pistol? You wanted the real stock?
I wanted to build the shortest rifle I could build because I already have a pistol. And I've got a longer rifle. I've got an 18-inch rifle with a brake, and I wanted to build just the shortest one that I could and still be a rifle.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, 14.5 is pinned and welded is kind of magic. Because you don't need 16-inch barrel to get good accuracy out of a 5.56. You just don't.
No.
Sweet spot is honestly like 12.5. Beyond 12.5, you start to get into the realm of diminishing returns depending on bullet weight and stuff like that. You don't need a full 16-inch barrel to get good accuracy.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of dudes shooting really good long distance shots with rifles too, and they're using the 16, 18-inch barrels, stuff like that,
Yeah, and I mean, and when I say good accuracy, I'm talking about combat accuracy. As far as I'm concerned, if I can hit a paper plate at 150 yards, that's good enough for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking. I still think I want to do an AR pistol.
You won't be unhappy, I promise you.
Say everybody loves an AR pistol.
I just I like the 7.62 round so damn much, I really do like
7.62.
Yeah, I thought of that, and then I thought since I have an AR now, maybe I should It'd be nice to be able to share mags, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's the wonderful thing about an AR pistol is you know, if you use it for a truck gun or whatever, and that you know shit is the fan, you will be able to share those mags. You have an AK, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so go get an M92 AK pistol. You share mags with that as well.
Yeah. Matt has that Zastava. That's a sharp looking pistol. It's really
I've
nice.
got that one too. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful. I love it. I love it.
You know what I've seen a lot of people doing on Instagram, and I think Flippy has one too, is they'll take one of those and they'll send it off and have a regular rear trunnion installed on it, and then they'll put a buffer tube with an SBA3 brace on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had mine for a while, and I just got the old SIG brace on mine. But yeah, a lot of people are doing that now to where it's probably better, honestly.
Now you said, Ghost, you said you were getting a, what did you say you were hoping to be getting? A 7.62 by 39 pistol?
It should be any time now. It's an AR pistol, but it's chambered in 7.62 by 39.
Oh, yeah. Cool. How is the reliability of those mags? Like,
hit or miss Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mostly unreliable.
I've heard people talk about them as being, you know, when they first started coming out, you know, a couple years ago or whatever, started becoming more common. People having issues with them, and I didn't know if that was just something that needed to be worked out, or if it was because they were trying to build a better mousetrap with the mags. You know,
it's
an inherent design flaw. It's got to be straight. The mag's got to be straight for so long, and then it curves, you know, once it gets past a certain length, and it just not right there is where it chokes up. If you get the 20 rounders that are just straight, they're fine.
Same with the 10 rounders.
Yeah, they'll be sending me a couple different ones. I don't know what capacity they're sending me. I don't know if they're sending me like one of each or what. They said they're sending a few magazines with it, so I don't know. I'll find out when I get it.
Yeah, I think there's like one pattern of it, but like different companies make it, like ACS and C Products and AR Stoner. I mean, it's the same pattern, and like I think I got like 4 or 5 10-round magazines just because they were clearing them out. I've had good luck with them running steel or everything from like the Hornady Zombie Max brass case stuff to the cheapest $350 a box Tula ammo. Now the what are these 25 or 30 round ones where it's straight and then very bent? Those are a little bit hit or miss. On mine, like on where your feed lips are, they got like little indentations that kind of follow the ridges that are on the mag body themselves. And it seems to me like there was just not enough oomph in the recoil spring to get the rounds kind of popped underneath that and up and into the ramp. So I actually ended up taking like a Dremel and just kind of clearing out the little bit of the window on the front to give the bullets a straight shot onto the feed ramps, and then I just took out those little holder tabs, just kind of buffed them down a little bit, and it seems to work okay for mine. But that's a mag out of, I think, like 2 or 3 of the 30 rounders I own.
So I was just looking at the website, and they say 30 round mags, but I don't know what brand and all that, so I don't know. So I'll find out when I get them, and I'll let you know.
Yeah, I'm interested. I like we talked about it a couple of weeks ago for quite a long time, with Dead Horse on and stuff, and just you talk about having a truck gun. It's nice because in PA you can't have a rifle loaded in the vehicle while transporting, while driving. So that's what's nice about the pistol in PA, and being able to, like Sarge said, if you're going state to state, if you're going on vacation or something like that, it does kind of take some of the headaches of it out if it's a pistol.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. And I've just gone back and forth so much between 5.56 and 300 blackout. I don't have a 300 blackout. But I don't know. Maybe the 5.56 would be nice because then I can just share mags, share ammo. Don't have to worry about all that, getting into another caliber right now.
Just do either one. Pick one, and then later you could just buy an upper and use the same lower if you want to swap it out later.
Yeah, these are the
AR
7.62. Yeah.
AR parts are so cheap right now. There's no reason not to build another lower, really.
Anybody know any good Trump guns? P365. Guy that comments says that. What do you mean Trump guns? Like Donald Trump guns?
Like ones that are huge?
Huge.
So here's an AR 47 magazine.
Oh yeah.
See how bent it is compared to a GI mag. Because it has, regular AK mags, they're just bent all the way.
Right. Yeah.
But since this has to be straight.
Yeah, that transition where it goes from straight to and then it curves is usually where they have issues. And so if you load, even the 30 rounders work just fine if you only load 20 in them. You'll never have an issue. I mean, I'm sure there are mags out there. There are where the geometry is just right, or they're using just the right ammo, where it feeds fine, or whatever. Otherwise they wouldn't still make 30 round mags for them. But generally there's gonna be more issues with the 30 rounders.
Yeah, these little nubs right here, they kind of like catch right on the rim. So I just kind of sanded them a little bit, and then this one, when I got it, the top of the feed window here was actually almost straight across from the top. So they're, like I said, they're hit or miss Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock.
What's that big round there? I mean, it's
which big round?
What do you mean, which big round? Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
That's a 50 BMG case that I put a saboted 500 grain 4570 bullet in.
All right. It's like I was like,
you mean the one in front of Bullet T Justice here, the original?
Mm-hmm. No. Yeah, I couldn't figure out what the hell that was.
And you did get confused by that canister of orange juice because it said concentrate on it.
Guy that comments says effective range of AR pistol also 150 to 200 yards like the PCCs? Question mark.
Actually,
depends.
Like if you're shooting ballistically, 5.56 out of
Actually, I got the chart right here.
Okay.
So let's go with the 10-inch just for shits and giggles. So 5.56 M193. You're going to be getting 2,600.
You're still almost at 2,700 feet per second, huh?
Yeah. And so 883 foot-pounds of energy, then that might help if I actually looked at the screen here. 300 black. Now, this is the 110 grain Barnes X-Tac. So you're at 2173 feet per second, but your energy foot-pounds is 1153. So, reliable. Let me go back up here. They had a kind of a graph as to the, oh, here it is. Versatility versus range. I mean, yeah, the M4 was made to be like a 350, 400 yard rifle, and yeah, this one, or meter, sorry for everyone out there in metric land. They're showing 300 blackout. It's a little bit shorter range, but you're still lobbing a heavier, usually a heavier projectile. Effective maximum range. The U.S. military rates maximum effective range for the M4 as 500 meters for a point target. If the maximum effective range of the M4 with M855 at 2,900 feet per second is 500 meters, that's has 100 inches of drop, 41 inches of drift, and 291 foot-pounds of energy at that distance. 16-inch AAC 300 blackout, 125 grain bullet at 220 feet per second has 100 inches of drops at 440 meters, 41 inches of drift, and 291 foot-pounds of energy at 700 meters. Okay, this is kind of badly put together, but ooh, I'm hearing thunder outside. Great. Actually, I'm going to. Oops, sorry.
How do they figure drift in with something like that? Like
usually, it's a crosswind kind of thing.
But I mean, that's what I mean. Like, how is there like a set? Like, okay, so is that at 10 miles an hour? Is that 41 inches at 10 mile an hour crosswind? Is that how they do that? Like, do they have to have a set? I mean, you would have to have a standard crosswind.
I know when you use the federal ballistic app, it automatically puts in 10. So,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know whether that's standard, but that's what automatically pops up.
Okay. So, all right, here's where, for a pistol, from a 9-inch barrel. Let me see. Using military standards and maximum effective range from a 460. So, from a 9-inch barrel, 100-inch drops at 410, 209. So 440 meter maximum effective range for a 9-inch 300 blackout pistol, or firearm. So
you only lose 220 meters from what they're saying, 460 to 440.
Yeah. In a 9-inch barrel 300 blackout has the same muzzle energy.
Yeah,
as
I totally
14.5.
I lost my chat here, guys. I'm not sure what's going on.
Uh-oh.
You got the droopy eye.
He's got the Yankee-itis.
I'm not sure if you're hearing me or not.
Somebody told him you don't have to put milk in the refrigerator.
Hold tight.
Just
do
put
what you're doing if you want to.
Microwave.
Keep talking.
I am.
What chart is this you're looking at?
The what?
What chart? What are you looking at here?
I posted the link to the PDF in the side chat.
Ah, okay.
Because it's something put together by Advanced Armament Corporation, because they were trying to, it's kind of their 300 Blackout's kind of been their baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a white paper, 2012 National Defense Industry Association, and we just lost midnight. Holy shit, ladies, gentlemen, and Jonases of all ages, we have lost our chat captain.
He has 5 minutes to get back in here.
Oh.
Or this thing disappears, I think.
It's the final countdown. Yeah, so, this is that honey badger that kind of came onto the scene as the new tactical hotness a couple years ago.
Now, is that suppressed, or is that...
Both suppressed and unsuppressed. Well, okay. The low visibility carbine is a 30 caliber weapon that is as quiet as an MP5 SD, but with 3 times the range. It has more penetration and better terminal effect effects than an MP7. It's effective for CQB, but has the ability to engage and eliminate threats beyond 100 meters. Let's see, they had one where it was suppressed and unsuppressed for size comparison. So with their silencer, it's, let's see, 25.8 inches, and then MP5 is 31 inches with their stocks extended. So which, like I said, this could more than likely this could be slightly skewed towards the favor of the 300 blackout compared to the standard one, simply because Advanced Armament, wants to push out their new bullet. So yeah, I just actually found this just by Googling like ballistic chart comparison for 5.56 versus 300 blackout.
You can find some amazing stuff if you start like researching that. I mean, like this, you can find some really neat tests and things people have already done.
Yeah, like that. Where was this? Okay, this is that Barnes X-Tac 110 grain polymer tipped solid copper projectile. 20 inches of penetration at 300 yards from a 9-inch barrel. Then, well, this I'll say is more like the barrier blind test here. I'll say that's more, well, yeah, it's definitely more testament to Barnes' bullet construction than it is the actual cartridge. But for anyone interested in more ballistic results, I would suggest you go to brassfetcher.com, because he does a whole series where he doesn't just do ballistic gel. He'll put like bone simulate and that in there to see kind of how stuff reacts. Yeah, and then just kind of some, I don't want to say fuzzy logic, but like spooky math stuff where it's, 9mm to 45 is less of a change than 22 caliber to 30 caliber. So then propose cartridge variations, military packaging, showing that barrel twist doesn't really, or fast twists aren't really a reason for concern for pressure. And then, yeah. So even in something as ridiculous as, say, a 4-inch barrel, your M193 5.56 is 1683 feet per second and 346 feet per second, or foot-pounds of energy. The same for the 110 grain Barnes is 1516 feet per second and 561 foot-pounds. So, yeah, the 300 blackout and even like a 4-inch barrel, it's still like 357 Magnum power equivalent, to where the 5.56 is like a mild 9mm. Yeah. Comparative sound to